All right, so here's where we're headed. We're going to work on this bouncing ball scene. And this is going to be a little bit challenging. It might look really, really simple and really basic, but if this is your first time doing a bouncing ball, once you get over this little bit of a learning curve, it becomes a lot easier. So it's a big challenge at first, but afterwards, it'll be really simple. So one of the main challenges that we're going to be working with here are going to be establishing a parent-child relationship. So a parent-child relationship basically means you have two different objects. The child can move freely, and the child always goes where the parent goes. So to kind of look at this in the scene here, you can see that the rotation, we have three different things. We have the rotation, we have the ball transform that's moving up and down, and then we have the squash and stretch, right? So the rotation here is happening, you can see it's happening around the origin here of the ball, the pivot point, right? But the squash and stretch down here is happening at this pivot point. There's two different pivot points. So the whole point of a parent-child relationship is to establish an object that has multiple pivot points. So I'm in a new scene here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my cube. And I'm just going to create a sphere to start working with. So I'm just going to right click and shade smooth to get this going. And you can see here, we have our pivot point that's working here, but we need to get a pivot point that's going to be working at the bottom for our squash and stretch. So I'm going to go ahead and move this up one. So I'm going to go 1 on Z to get that right there at the origin. And then I'm just going to create an empty. So empties are usually what you use to have a secondary pivot point on an object. So I'm just going to Shift A and then empty and then circle. And then I'm just going to go ahead and rotate this 90 degrees in X. And then I'm going to go ahead and establish a parent-child relationship for this. So the way we do this is simply whatever the child is, we select first. And then we shift select the parent. And then all we have to do simply is Control P and then set parent to object. And then you'll see here within our outliner, we now have this parent-child. So the top one is going to be the parent, and then the bottom one is going to be the child. So now if we simply, if we select our empty here and we move this around, the sphere is going to go with it. If we scale it, if we rotate it, whatever it may be, the sphere is going to go around, go along for the ride. But the child, being the sphere here, can operate independently.